Shalom, it's Rabbi David Barron with my weekly Torah Talk. I hope all of you will be able to join us this coming Sunday for the observance of Shavuot, the giving of the Ten Commandments. We'll be celebrating it with a special brunch at 11 a.m. at Factor's Deli on the back patio, where we'll be serving the traditional Eastern European Jewish food for Shavuot, and that is blintzes. So please come and join us. You can go to our temple website, templeofthearts.org, for more information about that and about our fantastic debate next week on the 8th. It will be entitled, Are Human Beings Inherently Good? Dennis Prager will be debating Rabbi Penny Dunner. I'll be moderating. You can get tickets at the door or order them online at Brown Paper Tickets, The Great Debate. So we hope you'll join us for some of these upcoming events. And don't forget our Shabbat dinner on Friday night, the 10th, at Aloro Restaurant, an outstanding Italian restaurant on Cannon Drive in Beverly Hills. We'll be hosting a beautiful Shabbat dinner. You can make your reservations online. And I'll be joined by our wonderful cantors, Alicia Pierce, our new Chazan, Nathan Lamb, and our music director, Sharon Farber, for a wonderful evening of music, singing, celebration, prayer, and an excellent meal. So we hope you'll join us for that event as well. This weekend is not just Shabbat, but it's also Shavuot, the giving of the Ten Commandments. And I'm going to show you one more time this beautiful moment captured by Marc Chagall of that moment of the giving, Matan Torah, and the receiving of the Torah, Kabbalah. Torah. The receiving is almost as great as the giving. The giving is the miracle, the revelation, what is called by scholars Sinaitic theophany, the revelation of God's law on Mount Sinai. But the receiving requires someone to be open to receive a message. And if you're open to receive a message, you know how that can change you. That can be a transformative moment if you open yourself to receiving it. A lot of us have so much noise going on around us that we're just not open to hearing or receiving a message. And sometimes that message can be very important to our success, to our happiness, to our spiritual fulfillment. So try to be open to those messages. That's one of the lessons of Shavuot. But let's look at the commandments themselves, the Ten Commandments. You know, a lot of people profess a faith in God. In the Talmud, there's an interesting conversation that is described between God and Moses. And God says to Moses, better that they, the people, observe my laws of human kindness and not believe in me, than believe in me and not observe my laws. In other words, God's saying, don't tell me how much you believe in me and then break all the commandments. Keep the commandments, even if you say I'm an atheist or an agnostic. So this is really significant because it says these laws are there to be kept. Why are those 10 laws there? Those 10 laws are the foundation of Western civilization, of democracy, of human conduct, how we relate to one another. Let's begin with the first. I am the Lord your God who took you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Establishing at the very outset that these laws are not ideas. Someone once joked, Moses didn't come down from the mountain with the 10 suggestions. He came down with the 10 commandments. They're not even called commandments. They're called the 2 tablets of the covenant, that it's our commitment and promise to keep those laws and to study them and understand them. In the days, according to the Mishnah, in the days of the Second Temple, people would recite the 10 commandments twice a day, the idea of keeping them ever present in your mind. The next commandment, and let me back up again and go through that first commandment, God is a God of freedom. And that's not just freedom from something like slavery, as horrible as it was, but it's a freedom to, a proactive freedom, a freedom to make a choice, to choose to keep these essential laws of human decency. The second commandment is, of course, not to take God's name in vain, and the second, have no other gods before me. That's an interesting one as well, because many of us worship what? Not idols of stone or wood. We worship fame, fortune, success, and we become so preoccupied with that worship. And God is saying, no, don't have other gods before you. That will take you on the wrong path or direction. And then don't take God's name in vain. And then, of course, we continue into the first set of commandments, the first 5, which include keep the Shabbat holy and honor your father and mother. And these, we are told, are the laws between man and God. Those are connecting us. And why honor your parents? Because according to many commentaries, understanding that our parents give us life, and that gift of life comes from God. So it's not just human to human, it's human to God. The second set of commandments refer to as the negative commandments, these being the positive, the second set being the negative commandments, are the commandments that refer to things we should not do. Do not murder. Do not steal, which actually means don't kidnap. Also the commandment not to bear false witness against your neighbor, not to just lie under oath, but in general not to lie or tell falsehoods. And of course, the other commandments are essential as well, not to commit adultery, not to covet the possessions of someone else, or aspire to have what someone else has. That's a road to complete unhappiness and lack of satisfaction in your own personal life when you're preoccupied with what does she have, what does he have? I want that for myself. That kind of outward constellated life isn't a true life. It's the inward constellated life that is the true life. So these commandments, when all is said and done, are there for a reason. The reason is because human beings break these commandments all the time. And we want to set a standard of conduct to live up to aspire to. That's the important message of Shavuot, that it's not up on a mountain, it's brought down to us here on earth, here at our level. And as the Israelites prepared for that great moment of receiving God's law, they prepared themselves spiritually, dressed in white, opened their minds and hearts, and also refrained from killing any animal to eat meat. So we have that tradition of eating dairy or non-meat items, so nothing has to be killed as we prepare to receive this precious moment of this precious gift of God's law. So I hope we can take that message to heart on this Shabbat and every Shabbat, and I look forward to greeting you in person as we're resuming our Shabbat celebrations and special events at our Temple of the Arts. Look forward to seeing you, and I wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom.